Welcome to the Waylon perspective. Please like and press that subscribe button. I appreciate it very much. This is my reaction to Dan Vasc performing The Sound of Silence, originally by Simon and Garfunkel. Let's commence.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again, because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping, and the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dan Vasc is a young man that possesses tremendous vocal talent. I've reacted to this young man plenty of times on my channel, ladies and gentlemen, and every single time that the young man steps up to the microphone, he delivers a memorable, captivating, stunning, awesome, phenomenal, amazing performance. Every time, without fail. And here we are with The Sound of Silence, an iconic song from the 60s, Paul Simon and Art Garfunkel originating this song that has taken a place, I feel, in the human psyche. It's just one of those utterly memorable and iconic tracks. And then you have Dan Vasc stepping up with his incredible voice, and he comes at you like that, ladies and gentlemen. That sound of his voice, that tone, that quality, that just utter presence, that brilliant vocal, performance, just starting off the track, it immediately places you in the mindset. It immediately grabs your attention. It immediately just, takes your emotion and starts preparing you for an emotional ride, a roller coaster. This guy is a phenomenal singer, ladies and gentlemen, and this intro here sounding utterly brilliant. Of course, I know the song, ladies and gentlemen. I'm singing the song's praises here. I reacted to the version that Disturbed having a huge hit with their cover of The Sound of Silence. But Dan Vasc here, utterly grabbing my attention here, ladies and gentlemen. He is sounding so awesome. Getting all emotional, no problems. Dan Vasc's voice has the ability to do that. Prepare yourself. This guy's amazing.
In restless dreams I walked alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street light. I turned my collar to the cold and damp, when my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never share, and no one dare disturb the sound of silence.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is just what the medium is all about, isn't it? Music. It just absolutely the ability that this young man has to connect, to reach out beyond the screen and to connect with the viewer, with the listener. It is just unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen. Did you hear how he just, switched on and just gave you more of that epic range? Did you hear? Of course you heard. This young man, ladies and gentlemen, a phenomenon. What a vocal performer this young man is. In total and utter control of his voice as he takes us down the roads. You know what I mean? Under the lights, the neon lights, absolutely in the darkness. The sounds of silence despite the 10,000 voices. This is just, it's poetic, it's beautiful, it's astounding, it is amazing stuff, ladies and gentlemen. The instrumentation on this, utterly wonderful. All the instruments, they are but a foundation for Dan Vasc's amazing voice. This young man is so utterly impressive. Dude, you sing amazingly. That's all I'm saying. This is a version and a half already, and we're about halfway through. Utterly, utterly phenomenal business.
Folks said I do not know. Silence like a cancer grows. Hear my words that I'm hiding you. Take my arms that I'm hiding you. But my words lie silent, raindrops fell and echo in the wells of silence.
Ladies and gentlemen, imagine incredible intensity, just connecting with unbelievable emotional sensitivity and sincerity. He is so sincere in this performance. Just goes from just stunning intensity to just stunning softness. You know what I mean? It's like, it's like an anvil inside of a silk glove. It's wonderful stuff, ladies and gentlemen. This young man, how brilliant is this young man? This performance is just unforgettable, is what I'm saying. This is unbelievable stuff.
And the people bow and pray to the neon god they made, and the sign flares out its warning, and the words on it was for me, and the sign said words on a prophet are written on the subway walls, in tenement halls, and whisper the sound of silence.
Once again, Dan Vasc provides epicness on a grandiose and massive scale. How utterly unforgettable was that performance, ladies and gentlemen. The young man infused this song with everything, all of his skill, all of his might, all of his talent. It just, ladies and gentlemen, it just all went into that vocal performance. And he sent it out to the world as a gift. What a gifted singer Dan Vasc is, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm gobsmacked here with how utterly brilliant that was. The young man not holding back one bit, showing us just his incredible vocal range and skill. His voice is his instrument, ladies and gentlemen. What a performance that was, ladies and gentlemen. I utterly loved that. That was just stunning, stunning. From the beginning, through the middle, and to the very end. Dan Vasc, his voice just sounding ethereal. It sounded angelic. It sounded beautiful, ladies and gentlemen. And, in between that, he absolutely gave you that attitude and that edge as well. It just, ladies and gentlemen, it ticked all the boxes. It was a brilliant vocal performance, a version of the track absolutely searing itself into the Waylon perspective's memory. And that's what Dan Vasc does, easily. The young man just, casually gives you memorable performances. He gives you utterly, utterly stunning performances on the regular. And this was no different, ladies and gentlemen. The Sound of Silence, reinterpreted by Dan Vasc, with a nod to that Disturbed version, absolutely smashing it, ladies and gentlemen, crushing it, absolutely owning it, and just showing the world how it is done, how you sing this song. Dan Vasc, that was a great job, a phenomenal performance as usual. So impressive, so incredibly impressive. I enjoyed every bit of that. That was utterly amazing. Dan Vasc filled the silence with a mesmerizing vocal performance that was simply beyond belief.